I think I was always been very curious. So I still am. I was maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years old. So I guess that probably is the beginning of my interest in mostly aquatic ecosystems. And of course, collecting leeches, boiling them up, scaring neighbors with them. That was also part of my summers. As long as it was wet, I was interested in it.
From small ponds and tiny creatures, she's moved up to one of Canada's major marine protected areas and some of the world's largest animals. Nadia Ménard studies beluga whales here in Quebec at the Saguenay-St. Lawrence Marine Park. And since those days with the leeches, she's always known that this is what she wants to do.
I had the opportunity to meet biologists when I was a child, and they all told me not to go into biology. So I guess my mother told me, she said, do what you like, and don't worry about what others can say. My first job at Parks Canada was as a naturalist at the Mangan National Park Reserve, which is located along the north shore of the St. Lawrence, which is a really beautiful park. And so I worked there as a whole summer. I think it was probably one of my best summers. And so I really realized how privileged I was to work in such a beautiful environment. So the following year, I applied for a position as a park warden. And I had the opportunity, they offered me to come here to work here at the Saguenay-St. Lawrence Marine Park, which was to be one of Canada's first marine protected area. I'm originally from the Saguenay area, upstream. So it was a little bit like coming back home to be able to come and work here. I knew the river, and having crossed the bridge like hundreds of times to go to our cottage, but I didn't realize what was down there. Nobody ever told me that there were beluga whales on the Saguenay. I actually found out when I was in university that there were whales on the St. Lawrence. It really made me realize how little we knew about our own environment.
So this summer, Nadia is trying to find out more about the waters of her home. She's studying the whales' feeding habits and hopes to better understand why these magnificent creatures come here every year.
So here in the Marine Park, we've started a study on better understanding the conditions that concentrate prey. So if we want to understand the whales, we have to understand the food that attracts them. I've always been fascinated by fish, but I actually love eating fish. So I consider myself a predator. Yeah. But it's true. But I am a bit of a gourmet type. So working on the prey of predators is maybe I do have a personal interest.
Working as a biologist in a marine protected area presents a unique challenge. The water is constantly moving, and so are Nadia and her crew to keep up with the demands of her job.
A typical day is hard to pick out. A biologist in a marine protected area, I think, has to be very flexible. We have to be quite creative. Some days I can be on the field. It could be working with a person involved in the whale watching industry. I could be involved also with a person doing a study on sea urchins, for example, and trying to coordinate the use of the boat and trying to talk about the methodology and objectives. So it's actually very diverse. It's actually as diverse as the ecosystem, I guess, and the amount of stakeholders involved. So I think you have to like something that's not really in the routine. I really realized that I did need the ocean, that energy. I like it when it moves. And when I finished my bachelor's degree, I said, well, if I had to do it again, I would do it again. So I think I was really fortunate because I already knew what my interests were, and I think I'd made the right choices. And of course, if you want to be a millionaire, you don't go into biology. But if you're interested in life, that's the place to be.